Hey, 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 let's roll. Welcome to Glue Monday on Memorial Day. A deep breath and remember that Memorial Day is about those service members who lost their life in battle. So, as we celebrate, let's really understand what we mean by the word happy. Not happy in that we lost them, but appreciative type of happy that they gave their life for their country so that we could find ways to celebrate and be comfortable in this solemn moment. So, thank you, and to those families who are survivors who have lost a loved one to war, we praise you and honor you this Memorial Day weekend as well. Okay, God bless you. Hey, what's up, Haas? Welcome to Glue Monday. We got less than a minute for the prescribed message, but for those of you who this is your first time on Glue Monday is born from actually Glue Wednesday, which people were using Wednesday. People always say that Wednesday is Hump Day because it was the middle of a Monday to Friday work week. But I say that everybody doesn't work Monday to Friday. So let's look at Wednesday as the actual middle of a traditional 7-day week that keeps the week end and the week beginning together. So Wednesday is the glue of the week. And my glue is GLUE. God's love undoes everything. As you see it, even the glue brings us into a prayerful position. So anyway, hey, it's 1 o'clock. Let's get on with our message. Man, Haas, I'm glad to see you, man. Hey, what's up, Willie? Willie May, how you doing? What's going on? Happened down there in MacB. Good to see you. Look, today's message, I will continue. This is what we're calling the GAS series, GAS, the Glue Alphabet series. And what it is I used to always do Glue Wednesday. Then one of my friends said, hey, what's up, Maggie Lou? Oh, I had to stop and shout out the FS, my goddaughter. Woo! It's good to see you. All right, but Glue, it used to be Glue Wednesday. And then one of my, and somebody, Maggie, that you love, Paulie said to me, Sport, why don't you make it, a different letter of the alphabet that you focus on each time? And I said, that's a great idea because since I decided to move Glue Wednesday to Friday and Monday as well, 3 times a week for inspiration during this pandemic, that was a good catalyst for me creating the message. So, thank you. Always give my boy Paulie a shout out. Hey, what's up, Gail? And the reason I'm, see that as people come in, y'all, this is our day. The reason I'm comfortably on the broadcast right now, because Facebook kept trying to tell me to use this new thing, and Gail said, Sporty, no, just click on click on dismiss and ignore that thing. And here I am with no turbulence in our ride. So anyway, so our letter of the day is the letter V. So what I'm saying to you is for every message, we call it the alphabet series because every message will focus on a different letter. If you'd like to get a word into the message, the next letter will be STUVW. So on Wednesday, the letter will be W. If you want a word that begins with the letter W in the message, you put it in the thread and I'll put it in the message. Why? Because this is also an opportunity to have a lesson in literacy. Ladies and gentlemen, always let things lead into something else. That's what blessings are all about. This is a literacy lesson. I'm teaching people how to create what I call a word bank. When you want to be creative, whether you're writing a poem, an essay, a letter, a resume, a cover letter, what you do is you take words that begin with the letters that, like in your theme, and then you give 1 or 2 words or 2 or 3 words to go with each of those letters. Then you go about writing what you want to write and bring those, that's called creating a word bank. So you put the positive words into your bank. Now you make withdrawals. You take those words out of your bank and see if they can lead your message where you want to go. You don't always have to use the precise words that are in the bank. Sometimes the word reminds you of another word that you want to use. So it's a great practice to learn. And so that's everybody who has contributed words into the bank. That's what I've been able to do is make them my co-authors for the following week's the following message. So that's what we've been doing. And see, even with Haas putting wonderful, now that's twofold. He's saying wonderful is a W word for Wednesday's message, but also it's a wonderful message, a wonderful lesson that we get or how we can continue to grow and feed one another. Okay, so my message today, my letters are, I got two words with a V put into the thread. One was vault, and the other one was virtual. And my message today, I'm actually not going to have a featured poem. Usually I have a featured poem, but I'm going to actually have is a featured message or a featured story from one of our favorite authors, unknown author, and it's called Actually. So even though virtually is something that we're doing, I'm going to be talking to you, I'm going to give you something called Actually, and then you're going to see how we can use that as well. But my message today overall is value, victory, and Viilorii. Value, victory, and Viilorii. Why? Well, some of you may know that Viilorii, Viilorii, is one of my nieces. I have 33 maternal nieces and nephews, and she's one of my nieces, and I call all my nieces by a different, I nickname them a different way, or I have a different relationship with each one of them. And so I call Viilorii my sister niece, because since I grew up with her, helping raise her with my sister, she's like a little sister to me more so than a niece, and you know how it is, those of you who are parents and those of you who are uncles and aunts and friends, when you see a kid grow up and then now they kind of can hang out with you at parties, and you see them drinking, and and they got kids, so it's a wonderful thing. So Viilorii is my sister niece, but I also attach that to a different reason. Because remember, what I also do with the glue series, the gas series, is the alphabet. I always wear a T-shirt that connects us to the letter of the message. So I have, I had to have 26 T-shirts that may have begin with the letter of the day. Well, you look at this and you see, if you may not recognize the eyes, now you see the rest, and you see that's Snuffleupagus. Snuffleupagus. Well, that doesn't begin with a V. No, it doesn't. However, one of the things that we have to realize is that we learn through those who we love. So I love Viilorii, but you know what? This is how I met Snuffleupagus. Was actually at Viilorii. Viilorii is my niece, and then her daughter, my great niece Damani, at her 3-year-old birthday party. It was a theme party for whoever the Snuffleupagus group is. It's not Dora the Explorer. It's Elmo. So everybody, depending on who you were, you had a different type of T-shirt. So her uncles and her grandfather, 3 of us, we had the Snuffleupagus. But so I say that to say that's also why she's a part of my message today, because I said value. See, the people that we love and we value are the ones that we can learn a lot of lessons from. So that's why it's so important for you to recognize. See, part of what I do with my life, I don't have any kids. So as I look at my legacy, I look at my legacy through my nieces and nephews' eyes. And who am I to them? And that's how I can transfer the messages that I use that come to me. But that's what you could be doing. Who do you care about? Who do you value? So that is what gives significance to your life. And that doesn't mean that that's the only thing significant about your life, but it's a part of your significance and why you move on the way you do things. So get your message, meet people, and also recognize that you learn things through the people that you care about. See, like I said, I would have never met Snuffleupagus had I not cared enough about my sister niece to go to her daughter's, my great niece's birthday party. And then I got to learn about Snuffleupagus. And come on, adults, sometimes we lose our imagination and our playfulness because we're so busy doing this adult thing, which you never get out of. You get out of childhood, technically, at least by age numbers, but we lose our ability to stay in that childish mentality and enjoy ourselves, have fun, help these kids get through their lives. Don't beat them up about what things are not the way they used to be. Bulletin, ain't you glad they aren't? I'm not even going to use pure English on that one. Ain't you glad they're not the way they used to be? Let's not get so high and mighty and act like everything was fine. We've been through some storms. And that's another way we have to look at this COVID thing. This is a new storm. It's a storm that we haven't been through of this magnitude before. But you know what? People are still dying from cancer. venereal disease or STD, sexually transmitted diseases, high blood pressure, mental illness, suicide, car accidents. You know, people are still dying. So let's not get so caught up in coronavirus that we lose sight of the fact that this is just the new inconvenience. And it's something that we can overcome. We will. We've overcome the other things, but we will overcome this as well. And that's the victory of it all, is recognize that our track record says that we've always overcome. And that's what we want to get focused on sometimes, is recognizing that we do overcome. Our track record is what we focus on. Meanwhile, another thing in terms of the theme party, we can still have theme parties. See, don't, oh man, everything has to be viral. No, you can still have a theme party. You just have to get creative now. Well, it's just, as much as we like to say, and I mean by we, I'm talking about the older generations, and you've heard them. Oh, well, you know what, kids, hey, it ain't like it used to be, man. Kids don't have the imagination that we used to have because everything is there for them. Bulletin, thing number one. Kids did not invent the shortcuts. We did, because we didn't like continuing to use our imagination. So we came up with shortcuts so that they wouldn't have to, and now they don't. And so therefore, how do we beat them up for something that the shortcut to us is the long cut to them? So we say, oh, look at it, you always want shortcuts, but that's the way they learned based on what we did. I used to speak at senior citizen centers in Chicago for 12 years, and I call them my seasoned citizens. And I used to tell them, I said, you're the reason our kids of today are the way they are. And the first time I told them, they said, what? I said, yeah, because you prayed for them. You prayed that things would be different for the next generations. This is what your prayer looks like. See, you can't pray and say, this is how I want it to look. You pray and say, I want it to look differently, and this is how it looks. So come on, older generation, let's pour into our next generation instead of being so picky about taking away. Because you know what, they have, I was on a Zoom call yesterday for 3 hours. 3 hours. It was supposed to be 1 hour, and it was with one of my young mentees, Shamika Thomas, and her new name, the reason we were on is because her name is now Dr. Shamika Poetry Thomas. Poetry was always her nickname. I met her when she was a high school student through the Leaders of Tomorrow program, but she's now gotten her PhD. And so she had a celebration of herself theme party on Zoom. And so she had some of her mentors. She gave us an opportunity to speak, sent some of her classmates. And we were supposed to do it for an hour, but we celebrated her for 3 hours. And in the process of it, one of her good brothers, who is also a PhD student or recipient, at the end, he said, one of the things that I just learned from this moment is that I don't celebrate myself enough. Wasn't that a great share from him? He said, I don't celebrate myself enough. And that's the thing that he got from us. And he naturally, now granted, we shouldn't have gone 3 hours, but we could have hung up at any time. I didn't have anything on my schedule. I had the hour blocked out for her, but it was so rich in how we were sharing and celebrating her, and in the process celebrating one another and seeing ourselves through her and her through us. Oh, it was beautiful. So again, once you just get comfortable and start doing these things so that you can value this time together, because you don't know how long we're going to be in this pandemic. So since you don't know, why are you busy fighting it? Get comfortable using it and then recognize that you're going to get out of it. But since you don't know when, while you're fighting, while you're in it, it's not going to do you any good but increase the worry. There's a W word for Wednesday. It's going to increase your worry, and worry is the absence of faith. So, and that's where you get the problems. I'm sick of these people. Come on, these are your family. You just have to make that adjustment. And now that also makes me move you to choosing your messengers carefully. And I appreciate when you choose me as a messenger, but I also want to say to you, warn. And I warn to your W word, but in a warning, in a wonderful and compassionate way. Don't jump so much on using me as a messenger. I appreciate that. But don't get Don't get so stuck on my words that you lose the perspective. See, I'm coming at you with my advice and my insight from being an uncle, a single person, an entrepreneur. I live alone. I've been in business for 25 years by myself. See, you have to look at all of those factors. So I don't know what it's like to be a woman. I don't know what it's like to be a parent, to have 3 kids in the house right now. I don't know that. So you have to listen to what I say, transfer it to how you can use it in your life, and then make it work for you. Choosing your messengers does not mean that you have to verbatim stick to everything they say. Choosing your messengers mean that you have to find what's in their life that can transfer and give meaning to yours. My analogies have to be transferable. You say, well, you know what? No, I don't look at it that way, Sporty, but I see where you're coming from. Here's how I would look at it, and here's how that will work for me. That's what it's all about. That's the victory in it all. That's the value that you get from using me as a messenger, because you are your most important messenger. So it's so important to recognize that. But even as I say that to you, what moves us further into our message about value and victory, because one of the woman who gave me the word virtual as a V word is a friend of mine named Ramona. Now, if you've been on our broadcast before, you see Ramona gets a lot of shout outs. Why? Because she is committed to the alphabet series, that every message she puts a word in, and she's creating her own inspirational journal using the letters that she can use in her. Again, like I say, she's transferring it to how she can use it. So she always gives me a word, and I love it because her word was virtual, and along with it, it had an inspirational message that this is what she had said, because she wrote out all her things about virtual, but here's a part of what she said that I decided to make a part of today's message. And again, see, she became my messenger. But this is one of the things she said about virtual. She said, the problem with the virtual world is that people can assume a persona that is not who they are. Parents have to monitor their children while they are talking to someone else online. Now, see, that's not new, is it? That's what I'm saying. The new normal is the now normal. And so, again, listen to what it said, because it's going to move us into the message that I want to give you, the reading that I want to give you from that good old author, unknown author. The problem with the virtual world is that people can assume a persona that is not who they are. Parents have to monitor their children while they are talking to them online. Think about that. How many people are faking it online? But here's a message. Because I'm going to read this to you, and it's kind of long. So let me go on and get right into it, and I'll make comments on it when it's over. Shannon could hear the footsteps behind her. This is called Actually, and it's again from our favorite author unknown. Shannon could hear the footsteps behind her as she walked toward home. The thought of being followed made her heart beat faster. You're being silly, she told herself. No one is following you. To be safe, she began to walk faster, but the footsteps kept up with her pace. She was afraid to look back, and she was glad she was almost home. Shannon said a quick prayer. God, please get me home safe. She saw the porch light burning, and she leaned against the door for a moment, relieved to be in the safety of her house. She glanced out the window to see if anyone was there, but the sidewalk was empty. After tossing her books on the sofa, she decided to grab a snack and get online. She logged on under her screen name, ByAngel1213. She checked her buddy list and saw Go-To123 was on. She sent him an instant message. ByAngel1213. Hi, I'm glad you're on. I thought someone was following me home today. It was really weird. Go-To123. LOL, you watch too much TV. Why would someone be following you? Don't you live in a safe neighborhood? By Angel. And I'm just going to say By Angel and Go To. By Angel, of course I do, LOL. I guess it was my imagination because I didn't see anybody when I looked out. Go To. Unless you gave your name out online, you haven't done that, have you? By Angel. Of course not. I'm not stupid, you know. Go To. Did you have a softball game after school today? By Angel. Yes, we won. Go to. That's great. Who did you play? By Angel. We played the Hornets. LOL. Their uniforms are so gross. They look like bees. Laugh out loud. Go to. What is your team called? By Angel. We are the Canton Cats. We have tiger paws on our uniforms. They are really cool. Go to. Did you pitch? By Angel. No, I play second base. I gotta go. My homework has to be done before my parents get home. I don't want them mad at me. Bye. Go to. Catch you later. Bye. Meanwhile, Go to 123 went to the member menu and began to search for her profile. When it came up, he highlighted it and printed it out. He took out a pen and began to write down what he knew about Angel so far. Her name was Shannon. Birthday, January 3rd, 1985. Age, 13. State where she lived, North Carolina. Hobbies, softball, chorus, skating, and going to the mall. Besides this information, he knew she lived in Canton because she had just told him that. He knew she stayed by herself until 6:30 p.m. every afternoon until her parents came home from work. He knew she played softball on Thursday afternoons on the school team, and the team was named the Canton Cats. Her favorite number 7 was printed on her jersey. He knew she was in the 8th grade at the Canton Junior High School. She had told him all of this in the conversation she had online. He knew she played second base. He had enough information to find her now. Shannon didn't tell her parents about the incident on the way home from the ballpark that day. She didn't want to make a scene and have them stop her from walking home from the softball games. Parents are always overreacting, and hers were the worst. It made her wish she was not an only child. Maybe if she had brothers and sisters, her parents wouldn't be so overprotective. By Thursday, Shannon had forgotten about the footsteps following her. Her game was in full swing when suddenly she felt someone staring at her. It was then that the memory came back. She glanced up from her second base position to see a man watching her closely. He was leaning against the fence behind first base, and he smiled when she looked at him. He didn't look scary, and she quickly dismissed the fear she had felt. After the game, she sat on a bleacher while she talked to her coach. She noticed his smile once again as she walked past him. He nodded, and she smiled back. He noticed her name on the back of her shirt. He knew he had found her. Quietly, he walked a safe distance behind her. It was only a few blocks to Shannon's home, and once he saw where she lived, he quickly returned to the park to get his car. Now he had to wait. He decided to get a bite to eat until the time came to go to Shannon's house. He drove to a fast food restaurant and sat there until time to make his move. Shannon was in her room later that evening when she heard voices in the living room. "Shannon, come here," her father called. He sounded upset, and she couldn't imagine why. She went into the room to see the man from the ballpark sitting on the sofa. "Sit down," her father began. "This man has just told us the most interesting story about you." Shannon sat back. How could he tell her parents anything? She had never seen him before today. "Do you know who I am, Shannon?" the man said. "No," Shannon answered. "I'm a police officer and your online friend, Go to 123. Shannon was stunned. "That's impossible. Go to 123 is a kid my age. He's 14 and he lives in Michigan." The man smiled. "I know. I told you all that, but it wasn't true. You see, Shannon, there are people online who pretend to be kids. I was one of them. But while others do it to find kids and hurt them, I belong to a group of parents who do it to protect kids from predators. I came here to find you to teach you how dangerous it is to talk to people online. You told me enough about yourself to make it easy for me to find you. You named the school you went to, the name of your ball team, and the position you played. The number and name on your jersey just made finding you a breeze." Shannon was stunned. "You mean you don't live in Michigan?" He laughed. "No, I live in Raleigh." "It made you feel safe to think I was far away, didn't it?" She nodded. "I had a friend whose daughter was like you, only she wasn't as lucky. The guy found her and murdered her while she was home alone. Kids are taught not to tell anyone when they are alone, yet they do it all the time online. The wrong people trick you into giving out information a little here and a little there online. Before you know it, you've told them enough about you for them to find you without even realizing you've done it. I hope you learned a lesson from this and won't do it again. Tell others about this so they will be safe too. It's a promise. Now you see why I call that actually. You see, that's the thing. It's not the new normal. It's the now normal. Because we have, picked up our use of the internet, we also have to pick up our use of monitoring children and monitoring ourselves. This isn't just about Shannon and our teenagers giving out information. We give out information online as well. We pass along the wrong messages. We burn each other's soul up with the things that we share. So slow yourself down. Parents, I love you. Without you, we would not have a future. Do not give in to saying, well, let me let them have their privacy. No, they don't pay rent. And it's a tough choice, but it's the safety. If nothing else, have that conversation with your child. If you need me to send that to you, let me know. I'll email me at unclesporty@gmail.com, and I'll send you that story. Because maybe you need to print that out to your kids and let them read it. And come on, and don't say, hey, you need to read this. Come on. We need to slow down and have a conversation. If you are at home with children right now, one thing that you can do to combat feeling like you're stuck at home instead of safe at home is not wait for a conflict to have a conversation. You know what? Have a conversation as a part of your ritual. Hey, look, let's schedule a time that we have these conversations. At my family, we've made Family Face Friday on Zoom, and I do that with my nieces and nephews. So there's 20 of us that I send it out to. You know what? We haven't made it mandatory because they're all over. They're in New York, they're wherever they are. I haven't made it mandatory. So the first time we had 14 out of 20 people. After that, the most we've had is 7 or 8. Because, they're comfortable now. I'm not saying that, look, you better get on this. No, I have it there available for them. And sometimes that's the position that we have to take. But I still check on them. And so, you've got to, and this is why I said again to you, perspective. You've got to decide what works for you that's going to keep your family safe. Okay? So, have that conversation with the Shannons in your life and recognize that it makes a difference. Parents, you have to find a way to get around the frustration and maintain your children's safety. So the last part of my message for today is I want to use the letter V as in vocabulary. Because I always say to you, choose your vocabulary carefully and be careful about the way. Just like I say about the messages. Choose your vocabulary carefully, but control your vocabulary. Don't let your vocabulary control you. And so one of the other words that my good friend Roger Carroll gave me that begin with the letter V is vault. And so, vault has a lot of different meanings. As a verb, it means to jump over. As a noun, it's a roof in the form of an arch or a series of arches, typically in churches and other large buildings or formal buildings. And also, it's a tool for securely accessing secrets. So I wanted to take those two meanings that we tend to be familiar with. That is jumping over something, we pole vault, and then also being safe in a vault, like in a bank. But now this is where I say to you, control your vocabulary. Don't let your vocabulary control you. Two different people could hear the word vault and have those two different meanings. But now even with the two meanings, the second meaning, the safety money vault, that could also have two. Because once you could be safely in a vault, but you could also be trapped in a vault and unable to get out. Some of us, or some of you, because I'm in here alone, but some of you are feeling that you are, well, no, that still applies to those of you who may be by yourself. You still may feel that you're trapped in the home, even if you don't have anybody else in there with you. See, so it's a state of mind. So your vault could be something that's confining you right now, but that's because you've decided not to use its other meaning of it's keeping you safe. So again, just think about things like that. Control your vocabulary. Don't let your vocabulary control you. Safety is really important right now. So be in your vault, jump over the negativity, vault the negativity and get positive and recognize that you are in a safe place right now. And that safe place does need to be right here. You need to be safe in your mind. You need to be able to control your thoughts so that your thoughts will continue to move you into making the right actions that make a difference for everybody else. Because all of us need you to have PMS. That's physical, mental, and spiritual control of yourself. Take care of yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually. Because once you take care of you, you take care of all of us. Because all of us need you. Life is about going from one puzzle to the next. You're either a small, medium, or large piece in every puzzle of your family, social, and business relationships. Yet, no matter what puzzle piece size you see yourself as, without you, the puzzle is incomplete. So let's remember that. So we're completing puzzles. We're putting glue together. We're making a difference, y'all, and we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. So let me give you a couple of announcements. First of all, I wanted Martha, when you get on here, Martha Brock. Brock was your maiden name. But last week, the letter S, we had so many words with the letter S that got put in during the broadcast that we said, oh man, that letter S is powerful. I'm going to have to do another message with the letter S. So that'll be the bonus letter at the end of the alphabet series. And I'll do that after we do the Z. That'll be June 5th. Also coming up, I'm going to be working toward talking about change now. I'm going to be figuring out how to change this over to where I'm going to do my Facebook Live from my business page. That's the top line. And I'll tell you about that on Wednesday once I really get to see how it does it. And then I'm also going to be working that into creating a Zoom meeting. So we got a lot of things, y'all. I'm working on making the message even more and more valuable to you. And so you've got to be ready to make those changes. So pay attention. All right. Now, Wednesday, it just so happens that Wednesday already begins with a W, but Wednesday, the letter of the day will be W. Glue Wednesday will be a W, as in the words that you put in the thread. And I see some people that put some in there already. It's no wonder that my consistent ability to work with you is because I value your opinion. And that's why I'm happy to make you a co-author. So let's recognize that we're getting through this together, but each going through it in a different way. We're not going to get through it without scars. But what we are going to do is learn how to deal with those scars. Slowly but surely. Let's continue to pray again for the families who lost loved ones in battle. But let's continue to pray for us that we're still losing people to, everyday life. And you know what? Some people are dying of natural causes. Let's not always think that death is this tragic thing that, bam, happened to somebody. Some people are dying of natural causes. So, I'm not saying let's celebrate, people are dying, what the hell? No, but let's not add to the worry by making it stronger than what it is. Because we've been put here to deal with put out fires. That's part of what we do. So we can do it, all right? So, bam, we are right at 30 minutes. I'm going to let the message end today. But I definitely appreciate y'all. I'm going to do one of the things that I started doing is staying on and just rapping with a couple of you in the chat box. I want to let you know now, by the way, that Wednesday I will not be doing that. I will be delivering the message and getting off because Wednesday I've got a class. Actually, I've got a meeting for some training at 1:30 on Wednesday, training so that I can be better on this. See, what are you doing right now to be better at what you're going to be doing next? And next is when? Now. All right, thank you. Welcome, Glue Monday. And by the way, I'm going to have, it's not raining, but I don't care. I got a gas grill. I'm going to have my cookout. I seasoned my chicken last night. I got the baked beans out. I'm going to put them in the oven, make me some string beans. I got them in the, what you call those things? The slow cooker. What do you call them things? Okay, I got it in that right now. And I'm going to have me some Bubba burgers. I'm going to have a good time. So y'all, please have a good time. I love you, man. And, keep it going, all right? So let me go down quickly and just do some shout-outs. I shouted out all the people that already. Hey, Stacy. Stacia, yeah, good to see you. Yeah, welcome, willingness. I remember. What's up, ZBK? Yeah, all right, Zet. Yeah, Zet went to see our mother yesterday. Thank you. Thank you for representing. Extremely true. E.T., right? E.T., go home. All right. All right, but Liddell, hello. And you know what I love about these, y'all? You know, I don't look when you say it, so when you say extremely true, say that again. Yeah, I love y'all for knowing where you say these things, and I appreciate that, okay? Oh, all of these letters with P, Maggie, positive participation promotes propelling. Too bad that the next letter ain't P, it's a W. All right, get hooked on phonics. Working for your good. I like it, Kathy, and I know you do that. You work it out, all right? Maggie, add me. And let me know what I'm adding you to again. Now, P.S. by the way, I'm glad I see that. I tell people all the time, if you want a word in the next message, put it in there in the thread. If you want me to email you something, send me that request at unclesporty@gmail.com. I do a couple of things with that. One, it helps me make sure I get through your firewall or any security by you sending me a message. Then when I reply, your computer or your security recognizes my email address. Because once you do that, I also offer you and I put you on one of my mailing lists that I can send out bulk messages and inspiration to you. So if your system is used to my name, when it gets that, it won't see it as spam. So that's one. See, learn how to use technology. Don't let technology use us. Amy, what's up, Amy? You know you need to answer my text message to you. All right, Katrina, always supportive. I appreciate you, and I know willing is going to be a W word. Well, Vic, all them comments. Yeah, Vic, always good to see you. What's up, Haas? That's Jose. I call him Haas. You be safe, too, and he always says goodbye to everybody. Zet, I'm not there for food, but Zet, you know that's why I did the Bubba Burger shout out, because I knew you would be on there. All right, okay, and now P words when you were telling us about the Zoom of celebration you were on. The Zoom of celebration. I posted P words when you were talking about the Zoom of, what did I say? You know, I don't even remember what did I say about the Zoom of celebration. Let me look quickly at my notes. Zoom, maybe that was about the family. I don't know. Y'all know sometimes that's the beauty of it all. I'm in the moment. And see, I didn't write that one down, but I'm going to figure it out, Maggie. And I knew you wrote it for a good reason. But and thank you all. God bless you. And remember, stay safe, okay? Over and out. Ciao. Well, I'll wait and see if anybody puts anything else in there. Because he said, hey, what's up, Macy? Good. I almost passed the crock pot. Thank you. Right, I got the string beans in the crock pot. Thank you. Thanks, Carolyn. And thanks again for checking out the speech contest. Those of you who haven't, that's in the, okay. Those of you who haven't checked out the speech contest, it's in the thread too. It was wonderful. The Zoom about the lady who got the PhD. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you. Yeah, that was too cool. Yeah, it was. See, that was so instant. And like I said, we went 3 hours. But yeah, she got her PhD, and I that call it a PhD. It's a pretty hard degree, you know. But she focused and she got it, and poetry is her nickname. So I told her, I said, you know what, we have something else in common, because when I first started my speaking business, it was based on using my poetry. So instead of just saying poetry, I said it was Sporty's poetry. And then I said Sporty's poetry. Let's put an S in front of poetry and make it spoetry. My brand of poetry was Spoetry, and it still is, but also I made that an acronym. Spoetry is Sporty's poetry opens emotions to reach you. Because that's how we get our, again, when we're choosing messengers, that's how we get our messages across, is when we touch people at the spiritual level. So, you know, that's one of the things that we do. So I open people's emotions, and that's how I can get through to them, and then they can get through to others as well. All right? And then, but anyway, I say that to say that Shamika, since her nickname was poetry, I said, see, so I was Sporty's poetry, you're Shamika's poetry. And I just love this young girl and this young lady now. And yeah, and a good time. This Friday is Viilorii's birthday also. Yes, it is. Right. Yep. Okay. Yep. Viilorii's birthday is Friday. Tyvon's is Wednesday. And so Zet's got 2 birth-giving days coming up this week. Yeah. All right. All right, y'all. Look, I'm going to get rolling now. And get ready to because we got a nice muggy day, and I like I said, I got my food all seasoned and ready to roll. So I'm going to take a break. That's another important thing to do. Remember to take a break, y'all. Remember to take a break. All right? Thanks again. God bless you. Ciao.